Hi guys, Chris here, back with an Android tablet. So this is the latest model from Chuwi. It's called the Hi9 Air, and it has a 10.1 inch screen that is 2560 by 1600 in resolution. It's an IPS panel and it is fully laminated, so it should look quite good. And the most interesting thing for me with this tablet is it has dual SIM support, 4G, but it also supports LTE bands that are very common here in Europe. So it will have band 20 and a lot of more popular, you could say, bands around the rest of the world. Because the problem was a lot of these tablets, like the Helio X20 that I checked out, it's got 4G support but very limited band support because it's mostly just the Chinese ones, and not the case with this one here. So it has a 10-core processor, which is the MediaTek Helio X20 with Mali T880 GPU on there, 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of storage, 8000 mAh battery, and it also has wireless AC, GPS, FM radio, and of course you can make voice calls with this. So let's have a look and see what you get in the box. So it comes in the typical Chuwi packaging, which is the plain brown box, and it should have this wrap around it. That means that no one has opened it up, of course. So we have the tablet, we've got press and lift out, it says on this. Okay, this comes up here. So here we have our cable, and this is a micro USB cable. So no Type-C on this, unfortunately, and a European charger. This one here is rated to 5 volts, 2 amps. So we're not going to have MediaTek's Pump Express. So the tablet, and we do have a leaflet in here. This will just be the warranty card and information right here from Chuwi. So yeah, there we go, warranty card, product inspection report, and something else here that is in Chinese and also should be in English, which it is. So checking the weight of it, 561 grams. That's not too bad for a 10.1 inch tablet. So the thickness comes in to be 8.4 millimeters. Do not know where Chuwi got the 7.8 millimeter figure from. They must have been measuring it right on the edges or something. So taking a look at the back here, this is all an alloy they have used. It's a matte paint job that it has, so it does attract fingerprints. And it feels a little bit light here, a little bit hollow under this, but it's not too bad, the quality. It's definitely not super high quality, premium quality. No, it's not. And right here we've got a 13 megapixel camera with an LED flash. Now this is a Samsung sensor with autofocus. So along the top here, we've got these speaker grills. There's one here and one here. They're very small, so I don't imagine they're going to be great sounding speakers, but I will test them here in this video. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack there with microphone support. Micro USB 2 in there for data and charging. So in order to add your SIM cards, all you need to do is just clip this up. It comes off quite easily, that plastic. It's a little bit thin and flimsy feeling, and then you just slot in your SIM cards right there, and a micro SD card will go there too. But what port's missing on this? And a lot of manufacturers are doing this lately. They're not putting HDMI out on these anymore. On the upper right hand side here, you'll find some plastic volume up and down and power buttons. They feel okay, but because they're plastic, they don't have a super quality feel to them. Just below them, you can see a tiny little hole there. That's for the microphone. So up the top, a 5 megapixel front facing camera. I don't know whether this one's a Samsung. I think it could actually be OmniVision or something similar. And they've got this transit screen protector on here. Well, the first layer of that you need, of course, pull that off. So overall, the build quality, in hand, it feels okay. The weight's not bad. There's no flex or creaking within the case, which was happening on the Chuwi Hi9. That one had an all plastic case on the rear and it tended to have a bit of movement on it. It feels good, it's just not super high quality. What disappoints me is that there's no micro HDMI out on this. They should have included that, and the port location here, well, that isn't really the best at the top. And because we have the 2.5D glass, well, the curved edges on here, this is going to happen with the screen protector, so it won't actually go right down and connect with the display there. So you're going to get that ugly little gap around the outside of it, which is going to collect dust. So just going through first boot, and you can see the boot animation that they're using here is a stock Android logo here. So that's a good sign. So hopefully this is going to be a completely stock Android Oreo ROM. So first boot did take a long time. It took about 2 minutes and had me worried. It was boot looping. You can see already that I've got 4G signal, but not a lot. And the screen so far does look really good. So this is great. We do have stock Android on here, and it's Android 8.0, so it's not 8.1. I thought it might have been that. I think some advertising material did show that. And here are all the applications we have. So it doesn't really have any real bloatware in here, unless you consider, for example, maybe photos, playing movies and TV and playing music to be bloat. So we have 56.6 gigabytes free on first boot. So out of the box, go into the wireless update because there is a bug fix right here. You can just see that it's minor bug fixes. And I noticed that the camera's not launching. When I go to launch it, it just crashes. So it should fix that now. So yes, the update did fix the camera. It will now launch and it runs. You can take photos of average quality and videos of average quality as well there. Now you notice how massive the camera UI is. This is again because of the DPI that Chuwi have set. So I think I want to root this actually and just lower that DPI. These are the typical settings you're going to get with the camera. The ones you get with MediaTek phones. So to just show you that when I go back home here and then just bring up actually recent apps, that it's not super smooth. It is a little bit choppy at times. There's some updates going on. And you'll see here, look how large that on-screen keyboard is. Now there is haptic feedback, so when you type there, you'll feel quite a nice vibration, which is a good touch. It's good to have this on a budget tablet. Taking a closer look now at the display, so I measured the brightness and it comes out at just over 200 lux. It's about 203, and this is a lot less than Chuwi's claimed. I think it's on their website, it said about 400 lux. So that's probably what this display is capable of, but they have toned it down a little bit. But overall, I mean, it is a sharp display. It's not a bad panel at all. Very nice, the fact that it's fully laminated. Now the screen protector, having that on there, that degrades the quality of the screen a little bit. And the problem is that it's got a little bit of resistance to that screen protector. And as you can see here, the reflection of my camera, but you can see it's picking up fingerprints as well. So I'm probably actually going to end up removing that screen protector. And the screen does support 10 touch points, so multi-touch up to 10, so that's great. So the camera app is working, but I'm seeing a lot of viewfinder lag, a lot of just when you take a photo, it lags a lot. When you try and record video, this is what happened. It crashes on me. So at this point of time, at least the time of this video, the OS isn't quite 100% stable, that the camera application at least is crashing. Since Android 7, we've had split screens, so you can have an app either side, if the app supported that is. Now the performance of this, it tends to degrade when you're running two apps side by side a little bit, and you notice that things aren't quite as smooth. I mean, Chrome there, the scrolling is okay, it's not bad. It's quite an image heavy website, my one, so there's a little bit of slowdown there with things loading in, but overall it's good. Also to mention that the touch response and accuracy, that's perfectly fine. I don't have any issues with that. So it does have hardware FM radio, and yes, it is working, and it's one of few tablets that you will find with FM radio on it. So for playbooks, which is what I'm using here at the moment, for graphic novel, PDF files and things like that, the screen is good because it's nice and sharp, and it's just going to be sharper, of course, than say a 1080p display, so it does look good. So online streaming apps like Amazon Prime Video here, for example, that is working perfectly fine. The wireless range is good, and it keeps up with it fine, no issues, but I noticed that when I switch over to 4G, I run into a few problems because the 4G signal just isn't great. YouTube videos up to 1440p, they play perfectly fine, no issues with that. So we have dual loudspeakers, as I pointed out at the start of the video, so one here, one on the other side. They don't actually sound too bad, perhaps just lack a little bit of volume, but they are better than some, and certainly not the best I've heard. I'll give you a sample of them now. So just running through some info here. This is DRM info. So pause this if you need to read all this information. Here we have treble. So using the application called Treble Check. It's not supporting the seamless system updates because it doesn't have access to both sets of the partitions. Only partition A here. So GPS, it works well. Not as good as a mobile phone, of course. It has a hardware compass. This tablet does not have a hardware compass in it. It's just the GPS module it's got. So looking now at the wireless speeds, they're decent for this type of chipset and the wireless AC it has. No complaints here. Wireless range is also decent, it's good. But what I don't like is the 4G range. So I found that the signal strength is a good 2 or 3 bars less than my mobile phones in the exact same position using the exact same SIM card. Now I'm using Orange here in Spain at the moment, and their speeds have not been wonderful from my previous SIM card. So you can expect these kind of speeds. Around 7 upload and download is all I'm able to get here, but bear in mind that I don't have full signal strength. You can see there that it's really at the bare minimum. Internal storage speed, so not very fast. It's only eMMC 4.5.1 spec. And finally, here's the Antutu score. So almost 90,000. That's not bad for a Helio X20. But notice the memory speed there. There's a bit of a weakness. Not a very good score right here for memory. So now I'll check out PUBG. Now I'm going to go with the settings that they recommend. So it's just going to be on the smooth option for the graphics details and then medium frame rate. So far so good. That frame rate is keeping up and nowhere near as choppy as the AudioCube X1. But I'll find out after 10 minutes of gaming when that one started to throttle. See what it's like with the scope. It's starting to get a little bit choppy and laggy. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Bad, 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 bad. Okay, I got lucky there with a headshot. So after 20 minutes now, I managed to get 9 bot kills at this level. I'm pretty sure they're bots, aren't they? They seem quite easy to kill. Whoa, and now someone's trying to kill me. Okay. It is a little choppy as you can see, so it's not the smoothest experience definitely here with PUBG. I mean, this is a demanding game, but it's nowhere near as smooth as the Snapdragon 845, of course. That's a premium high-end chipset. But playable, definitely playable, and yes, you will be able to kill people. Other titles like Critical Ops, you can see here, is running approximately around 30 to 40 frames per second, with peaks up to about 50, 60. This title here on the medium preset, which is World of Tanks, is getting a decent frame rate. It's close to what I think about 60 frames per second. You can see if I zoom around here that is quite smooth. There's a few little stutters there, and yes, I'm dead. Quickly checking the temps now. So after 30 minutes of gaming, it's only getting up to about 30 degrees to the touch. The same goes for the front of the screen. It's just slightly warm. So battery life on mostly wireless AC, you're looking around about 7 hours with light use. If you're going to be gaming a lot, then that's going to drop down to about 4 to 5 hours of gaming. So this right now is a sample from the front-facing 5 megapixel webcam. I managed to record video on this one here. You can see the quality is, I feel, acceptable. It's going to be fine for applications like Skype, voice chat, things like that. And the audio you get as well from that inbuilt microphone is acceptable. So to recap here, overall I'll start with the positives. We've got a nice screen. The build quality is decent. We've got metal around the back, so it's not all plastic like some of the other tablets that we're selling from Chuwi with a similar price range here. You've got okay camera performance, but we've got a bug with the camera that it will crash. I noticed with recording, at least with the rear camera, front-facing camera quality seems decent enough for Skype and things like that. Same goes for the microphone there. So the performance of the tablet is decent, it's good. So if you're going to be gaming on it, expect to have playable frame rates at least, but it's not going to be the fastest experience out there. Definitely not. It can run a demanding game like PUBG, and it didn't run into the throttling that I experienced on the AudioCube X1. This one became very laggy and choppy playing that game. About 5-10 minutes into the game, it would start to happen, and I played for half an hour, and it's perfectly fine. It doesn't get any warmer. So the thermals on this tablet, at least Chuwi have got that right, that it just gets warm and it's going to be fine. Battery life seems to be okay. So depending on what you're doing, so light use about 7, maybe even 8 hours, gaming 4 to 5. So it's not amazing there, but it's typical battery life. Charge times are very slow because it's only 5 volts to amps. So the biggest problem for me with the tablet, okay, the screen brightness, it could definitely be brighter. It's only around about 205 lux, and they advertised it having about 400. So I think with the last update, or maybe the firmware that it's got currently on it, they've toned down the brightness, maybe for improved battery life on here. But the problem that I have with this tablet at the moment is it's really good that it's got all those 4G bands on there, but the signal strength is quite poor. I think it's just the antenna setup on this, or perhaps it's my unit, but I'm noticing that I'm only really getting, well, I'm getting actually about 2 or 3 bars less than my mobile phones, which I have sitting in the studio in here with me, and so it should be a lot better there. The speakers should be louder as well. I know that's a complaint literally I have on all of the Chinese tablets. They never really put good or decent or powerful loudspeakers in there. A 3.5mm audio quality, that is better, of course. You get a lot more loudness out of that. There's no hiss or annoying static, so that's another positive there. So overall, for the 200 US, 220 that it's been selling for, I feel it's a decent tablet. It's going to give you good gaming performance. It has a nice screen. And overall, the build is acceptable. It's fine for the price, I feel. It's not amazing. It's not a premium tablet at all, no. But my favorite still will have to probably be TechTablets Master T10. It's got a better build quality and the screen's a lot brighter than this one right here. So please do check out my review of that one if you're interested in a similar tablet. And thank you so much for watching this review. Hope to catch you back in the channel. And if you're new, please subscribe to the channel for more up and coming reviews. Bye for now.